Hey guys, this is Em, and I'm here to talk about kids ministries. Yes, I got to work super early, so I thought I'll do a random idea whilst in the car. So I was privileged to be able to go to some of the leadership conference just at night times at Good Shepherd Baptist Church, and they're actually running a bit of a kids conference, and I'm not part of it. But somebody told me what the theme was. The theme was outer space. And so naturally my brain started thinking of all of these ideas, even though I'm not part of it. So it was kind of funny, but I thought I'll share some of these ideas because if you're doing a space theme in children's church or in a kids club or anything like that, you could probably use some of these ideas if you like. My favorite idea is the very last idea, which I'll share that at the end. But first of all, we'll start off with an activity for little kids, an activity for big kids, and then the lesson. And I might throw in a random idea of another activity that I had as well. Obviously, being that it was a kids conference, I was thinking, a bunch of kids, and thinking that maybe you could use an activity time to decorate the room. So for the little kids, it would be quite simple. It would be making the starry sky. So what I would do is I would grab you can do this different scales, whether you're doing big scale, little scale, or whatever. But I would have grabbed some of the black tablecloth. You can get plastic black tablecloth. Spotlight and I think Big W sell it in a big roll where you get like 20 meters for $20. And sometimes if you keep your eye out at Spotlight, they'll have it for $10, which is a bargain. Because normally you buy it from a cheap shop and it actually costs more than that because you're only getting a small sheet. But so if you had some of that, you could either get the smaller sheet or you could just use black paper, whatever suits the size of your group or whatever you want to do. I was thinking of draping it from the ceiling once it's finished, so hooking it in one part, then making a bit of an M, hooking it in the middle, and then hooking it in the other side. So with this, we would have a whole bunch of star stickers, whatever the cheapest star stickers you can find, and let the little kids go sticker crazy and stick star stickers all over the black tablecloth. That's the first activity. Simple, easy, and the little kids get occupied with stickers quite simply. The second activity is for bigger kids, and it is making the planets. So this is paper mache. If you've never done paper mache is just water and flour. Blow up a balloon and cover it with paper. So you're using the water and flour, rip the paper in pieces, and use the water and flour as glue. Not milk. Don't drink it. So you use that as glue, and you obviously make it as thick as you like. If you make it super thick, though, one of the pieces that I would personally do myself is the sun. And you have to make sure it has a hole in it, and that is for a reason for the last lesson, which I will mention soon. Alright, so paper mache, you give the more talented kids or the more crafty kids the job of doing satin. Give them some cardboard and some wire or whatever you want to give them to see if they can figure out how to make the rings work. But you obviously paper mache the balloons. Do them as thick or as thin as you like, and then maybe another time they can paint them or let them sit and come back and do that later depending on your time frame. Paint them, decorate them, or you could pre-do them partially and then they're just adding to it and then painting to it once they've got a dry layer on. So that's paper mache, the planets for the bigger kids. Obviously you can do more with that, whether you have them hanging or not hanging, depending on the room you're in. As for the final idea, but before we hit the final idea, also, personally, I would make a spaceship. If you can go to Coles or Woolies, you can actually ask the fresh produce department. Don't tell them I told you this. But you can ask the fresh produce department for the bins that the watermelon and pumpkin come in, and it's pretty much a big cylinder of really thick cardboard. You will have trouble transporting it if you don't have a ute or something with a big boot where you can fold it, because it does not collapse down the world's easiest, but it stands up easy and you can stack it and tape it, and you can make your rocket ship as high as you like if you get a few of them. So they are super handy for doing stuff like that. Obviously you would have to ask in advance because they won't be empty when you walk in there. And obviously talk to probably a fresh produce manager, because the general staff may not know that they do give them away because they just go in the rubbish bin. So yes, after that, the final activity that I would do, or the final lesson part, was with that sun that I made, that I left a hole in it. The reason why I left a hole in it is because it's a piñata. Obviously you wouldn't want to make it too thick. One time I made a pig, a piñata, and I made it so thick that I had men hitting it with baseball bats and they could not bust it to get the lollies out. I think we had to get like a hacksaw and saw the pig apart. It was hilarious, but so don't make it too thick, because with the piñata, if you make that super thick paper mache, it is very hard to crack. So just a thin paper mache sun with a hole in it so you could put that lollies in, and then make a harder surface where you can connect it to tie it, or you can do duct tape around and into a piece. I have added a piece of cardboard on the top and just duct taped it, and used the piece of cardboard where I've put a hook through or something like that to connect it up. But with this one, with the sun, you finish on this one, and I would do the lesson before I do the piñata activity. I would have had the sun in the classroom the whole entire time and not told the kids that there was lollies inside the sun. The whole idea is that when they find out that there was lollies in there the whole time and they've been looking at it and so close to it, but yet they've never touched it, never, is kind of just adds to it. So what happens is these kids get excited about the piñata, and you do the lesson before you crack it, because otherwise you'll lose their attention. Now the lesson is quite simple. When we crack this sun, when we crack this piñata, it breaks and gives us the gifts of lollies. But Jesus was the Son of God, and he gave up his life for us to give us the gift of eternal life. And so we can live with Jesus. And that's a powerful message that's just used through a object lesson with a piñata. And to do with space, if you want to use it, go for it. Now I really want to do a space theme sometime, so I can use it, but we'll see how we go. If you want some more ideas, make sure you're following us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And go check out our website, kidsministries.com.au. For social media, it's all kids.ministries. Wow, this is really actually complicated. Kids Ministries with M, and then dots in between is probably the easiest way to say that. And so you guys have a good week, and I hope you have fun serving the Lord.